Stop talking about your life. 5 reasons to stay silent. Stoicism. Think about the last time something good started happening in your life. A new goal. A new opportunity. A new plan. What was the first thing you did? If you are like most people, you talked about it. You told a friend, posted about it, mentioned it at work. And here is the uncomfortable question: how many of those things you announced actually happened? The Stoics understood something 2,000 years ago that most people still have not learned. Your words are not free. Every time you talk about your life, you spend something. Today, you are going to learn 5 reasons why the strongest move you can make is silence. Reason number 1. Announced goals leak motivation. Here is a strange trick your brain plays on you. When you tell people about a goal, your mind rewards you as if you had already made progress. You say, "I am going to write a book." People nod. They say, "That is amazing." And you feel a small hit of pride. But that pride was supposed to be your fuel. It was supposed to come after the work, not before it. When you collect the applause in advance, the fire that should push you through the hard days is already half burned out. You spent the reward before you earned it. The Stoics were obsessed with the gap between saying and doing. Epictetus told his students, in the Enchiridion, not to even call themselves philosophers. Not to talk about their principles in front of ordinary people, but simply to act on them. Why? Because he knew that talking feels like doing. It gives you the sensation of progress without a single ounce of actual progress. Think about the modern version of this. Someone posts, "New year, new me, going to the gym every day." The likes roll in. The dopamine arrives. And by February, the gym membership is gathering dust, because the emotional payoff already happened in the comments section. So the next time you feel that urge to announce, pause. Ask yourself, do I want to feel like I am changing, or do I want to actually change? Keep the goal inside. Let it stay hungry. Hungry goals get fed with action. Reason number 2. You invite the opinions of people who do not share your journey. The moment you open your mouth about your plans, you open the door to everyone else's fears, doubts, and limitations. Tell your coworkers you are thinking about starting a business, and watch what happens. One will tell you about his cousin who tried and failed. Another will remind you how risky the economy is. A third will just give you that look. None of these people are walking your path. None of them can see what you see. Yet their voices will echo in your head at 2 in the morning when your resolve is already thin. Seneca warned his friend Lucilius about exactly this. He wrote that nothing is as damaging to good character as spending time in a crowd, because we come back changed, infected by other people's values without even noticing. He advised withdrawing into yourself as much as possible, and being very selective about whose judgment you allow into your life. Notice he did not say the crowd is evil. He said the crowd is contagious. Most people who discourage you are not enemies. They are simply projecting their own fear onto your dream, and their doubt costs them nothing while it can cost you everything. Your vision is a seedling. It cannot survive being dug up every week so strangers can inspect its roots. Protect it with silence until it is strong enough to stand in the wind. When results speak, you will not need to. Reason number 3. Silence protects you from envy and sabotage. Here is a truth nobody likes to say out loud. Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to win. Some people can handle your struggles far better than they can handle your success. Tell them about your problems and they will comfort you all day. Tell them about your promotion, your savings, your thriving relationship, and something behind their eyes goes cold. Envy is one of the oldest forces in human nature, and the Stoics knew it well. They lived in Rome, a city where saying the wrong thing to the wrong person could end a career, or a life. Seneca himself served in the emperor's court, where ambition and jealousy were deadly, and he saw brilliant men destroyed by rivals they had trusted with too much information. You are probably not navigating an emperor's court. But you are navigating an office, a family, a friend group, a feed full of silent watchers. When you broadcast every win, you hand people a map of exactly where to strike. The coworker who learns about the role you are chasing can quietly position himself for it first. The acquaintance who knows your numbers suddenly needs a loan. This is not paranoia. It is just arithmetic. Every detail you share is a variable someone else can use, and you rarely get to choose how. The Stoics practiced being indifferent to outside opinion, but they were never careless with information. Let people wonder. What they do not know, they cannot poison. Reason number 4. Talking substitutes for doing. Epictetus gave his students one of the most vivid images in all of Stoic teaching. He said that sheep do not vomit up their grass to show the shepherd how much they have eaten. They digest it quietly, and then they produce wool and milk. In other words, do not perform your philosophy. Metabolize it. Show the results, not the process. He told his students plainly, do not explain your principles, embody them. At a banquet, he said, do not lecture people on how one ought to eat. Just eat the way one ought to. Now look at our world. We live in the golden age of performed progress. People film themselves reading, studying, meditating, waking up at 5 in the morning. The performance of the habit has become more important than the habit itself. And here is the trap. Explaining your discipline to an audience consumes the very energy that discipline requires. Every minute spent describing the climb is a minute not spent climbing. Every conversation about your grind is a small withdrawal from the account you need for the actual work. Ask yourself honestly, when you talk about your ambitions, who is it for? If the answer is that it makes you feel accomplished, you have found the leak. Close it. Become the kind of person whose life changes so quietly that people only notice when the transformation is already complete. Let them ask, what happened to you? That question is worth more than 1,000 announcements. Reason number 5. Privacy preserves inner peace and self-ownership. There is a deeper reason for silence, and it is the most Stoic of all. The moment you narrate your life to others, you hand them a vote on it. You start living for the reaction. Was the story impressive enough? Did they approve? Slowly, without noticing, you stop asking, is this right for me, and start asking, how will this sound? Epictetus built his entire philosophy on one distinction. Some things are in your control, your judgments, your choices, your actions. Everything else, including other people's opinions, is not. When you keep your life private, you keep it in the first category. When you broadcast it, you drag it into the second, and your peace goes with it. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive in his time, kept a journal we now call Meditations. Here is the detail people miss. He never wrote it for us. He wrote it for himself, private notes, self-examination, reminders addressed to his own soul, never meant for publication. The Emperor of Rome, who could have commanded the world's attention with a single word, chose instead a quiet conversation with himself. That is self-ownership. Your life does not need witnesses to be real. Your progress does not need an audience to count. There is a rare kind of calm available to the person who has nothing to prove and nothing to explain, and it cannot be bought. It can only be kept. So here is where it all lands. Stop announcing your goals, because announcing drains the fuel you need to reach them. Stop inviting opinions from people who have never walked your road. Stop handing envy a map to your life. Stop letting talk stand in for work. And stop trading your inner peace for approval. None of this means becoming cold or secretive or alone. It means becoming deliberate. Speak when your words serve a purpose. Stay silent when they only serve your ego. Starting today, pick one thing, one goal, one struggle, one plan, and tell no one. Just work. Let the results make the announcement. The Stoics called this living according to nature. You can simply call it strength. Because in a world where everyone is broadcasting, the quiet ones are building. Be one of the quiet ones.